Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, I wanted to talk a little bit more in depth about the Father's Day event and why I think it is indicative of the type of thing that is good for this MyTEAM mode going forward. And I think is something we really need to see in next year's game more often and in a different way. I'll explain what I mean here in a second. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 50,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, multiple videos a day. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. So, as I did make clear in my videos yesterday, I personally don't think this Father's Day event was that spectacular. The cards themselves are not, for the most part, all that great. Really, the only two cards that are involved in this Father's Day event that as standalone cards are good cards are Dark Matter Jaren Jackson Jr. and Dark Matter Rick Barry, neither of whom are game-changing incredible cards at this point, but both of whom are solid, good options all the way around. The problem that I had with it was mostly that the duos themselves were not very good. 2K didn't change any of the animations on the cards, so therefore like half of the cards in the dynamic duos stunk. There's a lot of just like lower tier cards in these dynamic duos that just weren't that great. You have duos like the Doc Rivers Austin Rivers duo you see right there, where you have a 6'1" dude and a 6'4" dude. Like, you're not going to use a dynamic duo of those guys on the court. At the end of the day, it was just offline only content, which is fine, but it's not spectacular, amazing content by any means, I wouldn't say. The part that I do like about it though is if you go ahead and look, let's say, for example, we'll look at this ball drop that I had this morning from a Showdown game. I took a screenshot of it, for example. You got Dark Matter Bill Walton on the board. You got a couple diamonds, a pink diamond, and a ruby as well. And if you drop it on these sides and not like towards the center, you're pretty much guaranteed to get a player every single time because the blue spot's always the non-player spot. But you can get like decent MT off of this because once you get a player once, anytime you get them after that, they're a duplicate and you can sell them for their quick sell value. So that's 1,000 for a pink diamond or 2,000 for an opal, or I believe 3,000. I forget exactly what the quick sell value for each card is, but it's something along those lines. And so it allows you to make a little bit extra MT per game. You get 2 ball drops after every Showdown game. I believe you get 1 ball drop after every domination salary cap game, but I'm not 100% certain about that. Y'all can let me know in the comments if you want. The only games I've completed so far is Showdown since they started this event, but you do get 2 ball drops. And if you were to get like a duplicate Dark Matter, for example, obviously you can use it in the exchange for legend badges, but you can also just quick sell the player and you can make like a little bit more MT off of your Showdown game than normal from that. And look, I know that for this specific event, it's only a couple days, it doesn't matter that much, but the ability to get a couple ball drops after a Showdown win and therefore make some more MT off of it, especially if you're getting these duplicate players, is nice. And it takes Showdown from a game mode where you might make 1,000, 2,000 MT a game. And it's like, if I'm making 3,000 MT an hour from playing Showdown, why would I play this game mode? The only reason people play it is because it's their favorite style of game mode. Like, it's the type of game mode people want to play, right? But I just think realistically, there isn't a lot of like amazingness about the game mode of Showdown. The rewards are pretty mediocre, and it's kind of the true for all the game modes. I'm not really just talking about Showdown. I'm using Showdown as my main example because I personally am of the opinion, since it's the sweatiest game mode and like the main game mode, it's the 5v5 online full lineup game mode. You would think it would be the game mode that would have the consistent best rewards, but these win reward milestones have not been good enough all year. There's not been a single season where I feel like they've truly been good enough. The weekly rewards are okay-ish, I guess. I mean, if you're in tier 1 and you get to 20 wins every week, it's 30,000 MT. If you're tier 2 and you get to your 7 wins or something like that, it's 20,000 MT. Plus you could take the packs and you have the chance to pull something good, either get a really good unsellable pull potentially, or a chance at even a good sellable pull potentially, which you could get. So there is possibility for good stuff there. And like, I don't totally hate the weekly rewards aspect of Showdown. In fact, I think it's kind of neat. I just think that the game mode itself isn't very rewarding for earning MT on a game by game basis. And that's something that in all honesty is true in every single game mode this year. And it's more true this year because we don't have the ball drops and the door games and the wheel spins and the things like that that have been really good for the game mode in the past. And that's a little bit disappointing to me. You know what I mean? I just think 2K could have done better with those this year. I think taking them out this year was intentional. I think a lot of what 2K did this year was intentional to make earning MT harder, since they changed the player market back to the auction house, and they let people earn more MT in game last year because the player market was there instead of the auction house, and they turned the player market into a thing where MT didn't even really matter as we got into the second half of the year, and the game mode just got worse and worse with the gambling only aspects. This year with an auction house, it's a little bit different, I guess, because now you can go buy the cards you want at the auction house, but you don't make very much MT from the play in the game. And while there have been good opportunities to make MT throughout the year with these festival events, the festival events used to be incredible for making MT for the first few of them, but even the most recent festivals, you've been able to make a decent amount of MT from these festival events if you wanted to. In general, it's hard to make MT in this game mode. I think it's one of people's biggest gripes is that unless you are willing to open packs, it's hard to make MT. Sure, you make it over time if you're smart with your investments. If you make a little bit, you can make MT in other ways, obviously. But I think people would like to be rewarded for playing the game more. And that's what something like this Father's Day event does, is it gives people an opportunity to make a little bit extra MT. Maybe somebody who's a no money spent or a budget player gets themselves a Dark Matter Rick Barry or Dark Matter Jaren Jackson Jr. from this event and are able to add a good card to their squad, somebody who helps out their team. Like, there is definitely positives to this type of thing, even if I don't personally think that the duos themselves were executed as well as they could be, and I think there's definitely some flaws there. At the same time, the concept of an event like this is cool, and it's indicative of why I think we need ball drops and door games and rewards like that to come back next year, because I think that really, more than anything else, is everybody's biggest issue with this game this year. Is just the fact that you just don't get very rewarded for playing the game, so it feels kind of pointless to build a good team, because what are you building a good team for? You know what I mean? And additionally, I do think, look, I have been preaching the values of just using attainable cards and being no money spent, or maybe low money spent, just buying the Pro Pass or whatever each season. That's kind of the path that I personally would recommend for people. And it's the path that I personally am going to take next year on my own main account. I think I'm going to do a full no money spent series. I may even not do the Pro Pass. Like, I'm not sure. I'm either going to do a Pro Pass spent series or I'm going to do a no money spent series. I haven't figured it out yet what I'm going to do, but that's for next year, obviously. So I'll figure that out then. But I think a lot of people have been having more enjoyment playing the game, low money, no money, less money spent recently. And I think that's something that's indicative of where 2K has kind of gone wrong this year in a lot of ways. Yes, there's finally good budget cards, and that's good, but the game just has to be more rewarding. You have to be able to make more MT when you're playing the game. It's something that I just don't think 2K's done a good job of really all year, which is a shame. And it's an area that I really hope that they improve upon this year, or next year, because I think you can tell very easily that people want a reason to play this game mode. People want something to grind for, and they want to be rewarded. And this weekend's event is indicative of a way where 2K can do a lot better job of that. If we had consistent door games and ball drops and stuff like that, I know the rewards themselves may not feel massive, but they do add up over time, and they can be impactful to people's squads. And I just hope we see some more growth next year, because it's disappointing to me that right now, I pretty much just have to tell people, I think you can enjoy the game if you pretend the top cards don't exist and you just play the game targeting attainable cards only. There's good attainable cards. Yes, that's totally true. And there is solid content in some ways about this, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. The game could be executed better. There's no doubt about that. I do think that they could execute a lot of things better. And I don't know. I think you can enjoy yourself when you play the game using attainable cards, 100%. I think you can find enjoyment. But the fact that you have to pretend the top cards don't exist to enjoy it is not a good sign, in my opinion, at all. You know what I mean? And so I think that's my biggest thing. But with that being said, I do hope we see more of this. I hope this is indicative of stuff like this that's going to be back next year. Please, 2K, let's make some positive changes, please, because stuff like this Father's Day event makes the game more rewarding to play. It makes me want to play more Showdown this weekend, you know what I mean? Because I know I'm going to be a little bit more rewarded than normal. And I know it would make a lot of people with lesser squads and stuff like that want to play Domination or Salary Cap, whatever the case may be, because they feel like they're going to get more rewarded than normal. So that's going to do it for the video. I hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. Be back with more 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.